Hi Cancer, welcome to your July 2022 monthly messages from Spirit Reading. This is your girl Mermaid Scales Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me here. This is a general reading for the Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and or any other strong placement for the sign of Cancer. This will not resonate with every Cancer that watches this message, and because this reading is general, not every single message is going to be for you. So please only take what resonates and leave what doesn't for someone else who needs to hear that message. And if this reading is not for you at all, Cancer, I highly suggest checking out your other signs in different placements. Hi, Cross Watchers. You're very welcome here if you're interested in a Cancer. Who wouldn't be? I'd like to remind Cancer and Cross Watchers that energy is fluid. This simply means you may feel like I'm describing a certain situation in the reading where you feel the roles are flipped or reversed, and that's completely okay. You're more than welcome to use your own discretion to flip those roles if that resonates with your specific situation the best. So my intentions for this reading, Cancer, is to channel and provide messages from Spirit for you for the month of July, to ask what will be happening in July, what do you need to know about July, and if anything has happened, why has it happened? And this can impact any aspect of your life, whether it is love and romance, career and finances, spiritual evolution. Whatever Spirit would like to talk about shall be said. And if you have any beings of the light that you would like to welcome into this space, and angels, ancestors, spirit guides, deities, maybe even passed down loved ones, you are welcome to ask them to join us here now. So let's go ahead and get this reading started. I will be using my sound bowl to clear and set the energy. So if you are listening to this using headphones or the volume's kind of loud right now, I do suggest turning it down a little bit, only for this part because I don't want your ears to hurt. So let's do this. All right. So spirit, angels, ancestors, beings of the light. What does Cancer need to know about the month of July? At this time, Spirit, tell me about July for my Cancers. Ooh, okay, wow. So we got some pretty strong energy to start off this reading with, Cancer, and it's the crown chakra. I'm not surprised to see this for my Cancers, honestly. And it says, I know I am part of Source and my life is guided by divine wisdom. So for some of you, you are going through a spiritual transition right now, a spiritual awakening. Your crown chakra is on fire, Cancer, at this time. You've been receiving a lot of downloads. And I also feel there's some of my Cancers here who have been attracted recently to tarot readings, to oracle readings, to YouTube, to looking up metaphysical philosophies, ideas. Like, you're very, very new into this for some of you. Others, I can tell with this crown chakra opening, you've been at this for a while, but especially for the newcomers here who are going through their first profound awakening, or who have just recently got into understanding themselves more. I feel there's been some of my Cancers who have always had very strong intuition, psychic abilities, a connection to spirit that I don't know if it's that you didn't understand or you kind of grew up in an environment that wasn't very pro-spirituality in the sense of anything outside of, dogmatic religion, or very, practical, logical beings that surrounded you that kind of are more leaning towards the science realm, which is great too, but it was nothing that you could fully understand of why you had these visions. Maybe some of you are clairaudient, claircognizant, and when you tried to kind of venture out and to speak on, the experiences you were having in your spirituality, they weren't supported. They were not verified. They weren't confirmed. But know that through my community, through the space I'm holding for you now, you are supported here. I feel some of you are getting to know your spirit guides, the angels that are around you. You're starting to see a lot of synchronicities and confirmations at this time, whether they are specific numbers 444 is one I'm seeing right now, even 555 for some of you, or even through, repeated messages, repeated dreams. Pay attention to those, because I feel Spirit is guiding you towards a better understanding of yourself, a better understanding of who you are, what your purpose is. And for those of you even who are at this for a long time, I feel your abilities, your connection to Spirit is even being enhanced further at this time. I feel specifically through this crown chakra for some of you, there's a passed down loved one that you have that is one of your spirit guides. And I don't know if you've been starting to find more pictures of them recently, or certain belongings that belong to them, or just certain dreams about them. They're still very much with you, Cancer. And don't, for those of you who this resonates with, like, don't think that, these dreams are just something that, is of pure coincidence. They're communicating to you, Cancer, through those messages, through those visions, through those dreams that you've been having. Yeah, this crown chakra, it's an upgrade. It's a level up, let's just say, in your spiritual connection, your spiritual awareness. And, I can relate to this not only because I'm a Cancer myself, but when I went to a Reiki healer a couple years ago now, she told me, you're not like a lot of other people energetically. And I was like, well, what do you mean by that? She said that a lot of people on this earth who reincarnate here, they have very, very strong, to begin with, root chakras, sacral chakras, solar plexus chakras. That's what they start out with a very strong foundation like that. But you have a very, very strong crown chakra, third eye chakra, that is already very well developed, that is already very well enhanced. And, your lower chakras need a little bit of work, but you were born into this with a very, very strong crown, third eye opening and presence, which usually people on this earth work towards getting that. And Cancer, I feel those of you who have been drawn to this reading, who are feeling this right now, you're the same way. And those are messages, confirmations of your abilities, of your healing abilities, whether that is in a psychic, metaphysical sense. Maybe you're well aware of your abilities. You're a Reiki healer, tarot card reader. You do divination for your career, for a hobby, or you do healing through, helping others in your direct community, whether that is through the work you do. For examples like being a teacher, being a nurse, being a caregiver. But it's even in the smaller ways too, of being a friend, a family member that is so loving and so supportive. And you bring this divine essence to every relationship that you interact with. And people remember you because of that. They may not know exactly why, but each and every time you kind of leave, you go back home after a night of hanging out with someone, or after a day of spending and getting lunch with people, they leave feeling better. And I think that's just the energy you hold, the anchoring of that divine energy that you're a source of. You just uplift people, Cancer. And I think that a lot of you, for those especially who are starting to get repeated messages, there's something about what Spirit wants you to do in July that you'll be guided to do. So don't ignore these messages. Don't write them off. There's something important here Spirit wants to tell you. Spirit, your, passed down loved one that feels like a very soft, masculine energy. Someone who may have been a very good friend in life, someone who is very supportive of others, but also stood their ground, would not be afraid to speak their truth, who would tell it as it is, but with kind compassion, who is a bit of a free spirit. And I feel you two were like kindred souls in that way. You understood each other very, very well. And this person, I feel it in my heart chakra, wants you to know they're still with you, Cancer. I just saw the letter C first, middle, last initial could mean something to someone. But others of you, if it's not a passed on loved one, it is a spirit guide that wants you to know that their presence is with you. When you feel it through your goosebumps, when you feel it through, finding feathers, finding, I just saw a ladybug too. That could be a confirmation for someone as well. But through repeated symbols and synchronicities like that, that's where they're communicating to you, Cancer. Wow, beautiful. Okay, let's keep going. Tell me more about July for Cancer. Anything more we need to give us a message? Like, I feel Spirit has a message for you, Cancer. Wants to communicate something about, a direction you're going in. Maybe a choice that you have to make, or that you're in the process of making, or something that wants to confirm for you every feeling that you've had about a certain situation. Oh, beautiful. Yamaya. The goddess Yamaya is coming through for you, Cancer, with number 34. May mean something to you. Breaks down to a 7. Some of your birthdays could be July 7th, July 17th, June 27th. Maybe your life path 7's like me. But it says, Yamaya, grandmother ocean, primordial. Wow, okay. So Cancer, maybe that soft masculine energy was a grandmother energy coming through for you, watching over you, caring for you. Maybe when I heard caregivers, maybe they were the people that took care of you, who raised you, or who were a very big part of your development early on. And maybe this grandmother is still with us in the 3D today, and she may be getting older, not as quick as she used to be, but her energy is still very much connected with you, Cancer. Maybe some of you are worried about your grandmother in some sort of sense, but beyond that, yeah, you have ancient wisdom within you, Cancer, that's being unlocked, that's being activated, that is being more and more shown to you. You guys are old souls, and that doesn't mean, that you guys are, I don't know, sometimes people connotate old souls with being, a little bit boring or something like that. I never resonated with that definition. I feel you guys have been on this earth for a very, very long time with the same strong, ancient divinity, light codes that you're being sent back to earth each and every time to help raise the vibration, to help raise the consciousness, to care, Cancer. You care a lot, and you put your heart into everything you do. And for some of you, you felt like that was your weakness, that, maybe you've kind of built a wall around your heart because when you showed people your vulnerability or showed how much you cared, it wasn't received well. You may have been blocked. You may have been felt like it was for nothing, I guess, for some of you Cancers. But Spirit wants you to know that, no, every time that you reached out a helping hand, every time you showed your love, and it may have been rejected, it may have been blocked in whatever way that was for you, that was something the other person was not ready to receive. And I think, Cancer, even if you walked away from those relationships thinking you were the one that, should have done something else, no, you showed something aside to them that they needed to see within themselves. I still feel, I don't know why, Cancer, this like older energy is coming through, whether it was family members, friends, or exes in romantic, relationships, but they've been thinking about you a lot recently. Even this could be like from years and years ago. Cancer, again, you have that effect on people. They always think of you. They always remember you. And I feel like they think they can't reach out to you. They can't write to you. Whether, again, it's because you aren't willing to open that door, or they're just kind of afraid of your reaction, afraid of your response. But they're very sorry. They're very sorry. I think that if they had known what they know now, they would have done things differently. They would have changed how they behaved around you, how they treated you. And again, this isn't to say that this is anything you should reopen to. I get it. If you're like moving on, you're moving on. But I think through this message here, someone needs to hear that through whatever hurt or pain you've experienced in relationships in the past, people do regret the way they treated you. People are sorry for that. And whether that's just something someone just needs to have confirmation of, or if it will help someone move on, I hope it does. But Yamaya was an African ocean goddess who, and even current day, I think it's like South America, parts of Africa, and the Caribbean, there's like a ritual that they do where they send out their wishes on these little boats out into the ocean so Yamaya can receive it. Their prayers, their wishes, their hopes. And Yamaya is a very big deity of hope, of love, of power too, in a lot of ways. And Cancer, I want you to know that if you have been hoping for something, wishing for something, praying for something, your spirit guides have heard those wishes and those prayers and are even sending you confirmations of that through the 3D world, the 3D world, but spiritually, right? To let you know that you've been heard, that you are loved, that you are protected, that your dreams, that your goals are protected. I don't know, there's just like the energy around you, whether you see it in the 3D through your friends or family members, or, again, you guys are very in tune with the 5D, the spiritual realm. There's a lot of love around you, Cancer, and you are very, very loved. And even in those times where you're feeling a bit down, when you're feeling like you're all alone, you're not, Cancer. You're in good hands. And although some things take time, although some things may seem uncertain, Spirit knows of your divine path. Spirit knows of what your purpose is. And a lot of you, that's just to bring love to the 3D in the care that you give to others, the care that you give to your work. And it is appreciated, Cancer. It is appreciated, and you may not hear those words of thank you all the time, and you may not feel like you're recognized. You truly are recognized by the 5D, and that evidence of that recognition will be shown to you. But for now, I feel you guys, again, are going through this spiritual transition of releasing the older energies, and maybe that's why that one energy came through, so you could finally start to release it, come to peace with it, to understand that, through those harder times that we go through, they're stepping stones to our progression, to our evolution. And I think this side of you, this power within you that is very strong, wise, ancient, you've had it with you every single reincarnation on this lifetime. It's just getting stronger now, Cancer. So, I'm not a doctor. And of course, if you're feeling any physical symptoms, please go to a doctor to get them checked out. But for those of you where you know you're not sick, you've been to the doctor, everything's fine. It's like you may experience headaches at this time. You may experience fatigue at this time. That's because of the spiritual ascension, Cancer. But on the other side, you're going to be a lot more wiser. Your intuition is going to be so on point. It's just giving that upgrade right now. And Yamaya's watching over you, ancient energies watching over you, ancestors, past on loved ones, whoever's carrying this energy here is telling you, Cancer, I see you. I'm watching over you. I will care for you. I'm sending you my signs. You are loved. You are appreciated. You're protected. I promise you. Beautiful. Okay, let's keep going. With this Yamaya too, I wonder if someone is going to find out that they're pregnant. If you can have children, if that's something you want, congratulations. If that's not a message for you, then it's not. But someone may be suspecting that they're pregnant. Maybe you're going to find out that you impregnated someone. Something along those lines too, okay? Maybe there's mother healing that's going to happen at this time, a mother wound for some of my Cancers as well. Let's keep going. Wow. Full moon in Virgo. You are good enough. So some of you guys could have Virgo energy. This energy coming through of a spirit guide could have Virgo energy, but it does not have to be the case. Cancer, you need to know that you are good enough for whatever goals or dreams you have for yourself. Again, through certain wounds of old energies that may have made you feel less than, that maybe have made you feel like you weren't good enough, that you couldn't do it. Or, you know, again, a sense of not being appreciated. I feel that for some of my Cancers, you may have gone through experiences where you may have been singled out, you may have been bullied, you may have been denied a connection, again, like that rejection. But Cancer, you know, sometimes through those rejections, that was not what was meant to be for us. So closed doors are protection. Closed doors are when we've learned that lesson and there's no more room, time, or space to continue on that path that has served its purpose. I feel a lot of you are coming to terms with that, Cancer, at this time. And again, I do feel that the recognition that you don't feel like you had or don't feel like you receive, you're going to receive some sort of message, some sort of appreciation from someone. I feel there's a lot of energies are being attracted to you at this time, Cancer. Maybe because you've taken a time out, you've taken your space, or you know, you felt like they weren't serving you anymore, so you had to cut ties. But for some, it's in the past. Others, if there has been someone or will be someone to reach out to you, I do feel like they're trying to build a bridge, but you are, of course, in charge of building that bridge or continuing to let it kind of close. But I do feel there's people who are going to express their love for you. Platonic mainly, maybe romantic for others of you, but maybe at your work, you're going to get recognized for something, a promotion, a raise. But Cancer, in order to start manifesting your desires, to manifesting your dreams, the first step is believing in yourself. Believe in yourself with your whole heart. Believe in yourself, even when people tell you, no, you can't have this. No, it's not. You know, you're putting yourself out there and you're getting a bunch of no's. You know, the people who are the most successful to this day that we know by name, that we know that's like their mastery in their craft, they've been told hundreds of times, but it didn't stop them. It didn't put them down. They continued to work on themselves. They continued to master their craft. They continued to, you know, submit to companies, projects, events, and they got that one yes, which was their breakthrough. So if some of you, again, are starting to, or have been for a long time, denying yourself the ability to receive, or, you know, put your dreams aside or to put your desires aside because you didn't think it could be realistic, Spirit's coming through now to tell you those dreams were sent by me. Those dreams and those goals that you have are part of your life path, and that's why they were sent to you. And you are good enough at whatever it is you do. You're good enough as a whole. That's what Spirit wants to communicate with you, Cancer. And this spiritual transition, transformation, upgrade you're going through may go on until Virgo season, end of August, early September, and you may get your harvest from it at this time, but you guys are still going through that upgrade, that process, those realizations now. Do not ignore any sort of vision, dream, again, that is just resonating with your soul, giving you those gut feelings, pay attention to those. All right, Cancer, let's see what the tarot has to say. Tell me about July for Cancer. Page of Cups. Wow, yeah, inner child work for sure. Water energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy. Inner child healing is pretty big for you guys right now. Certain childhood memories may start to be popping up. The good ones and maybe even the not so great ones either. And for the ones that are not so great, Spirit wants you to focus on how you feel in those moments of remembering that. To not just suppress it, deny it, distract yourself from it, but to really feel for that inner child that was within you that experienced that. And to give that inner child the love, the recognition, the appreciation, the intention that maybe that inner child did not receive in that moment. Others of you, under especially this crown chakra here, new awakenings, new understandings of yourself. And you see that little fish that's popping out of the cup there. It's like finding those mementos again, finding those confirmations. Spirit is very much with you, Cancer, at this time, and stronger now than they have been the rest of this year, but because you're so close to fully undergoing this transformation. And it's not to say that, life isn't going to be hard moving on after. This is life. We go through the cycles and rhythms of, successes and failures and times of, immediate expansion and times of stillness. But with that understanding, with that change of perception, it makes those quieter times, harder times a lot easier to understand. A lot easier to be patient with, a lot easier to feel out the situation and know that it's only temporary. But again, I gotta say, for someone out there, there may be a pregnancy that is coming, whether it's you or someone that you love, someone in your direct circle of friends, within your family. But also under the crown chakra too, this is a very recent awakening for you. For some of you, it's your first profound awakening. And again, it's through better understanding your abilities. Some of you have the ability of prediction, especially through your thoughts, it manifests, or through your dreams, it happens. Believe that. And you've already had those confirmations, but some of you are like, oh, I don't know, maybe that was just a coincidence. No, it wasn't. Now, there is someone who may have a crush on you, Cancer, that maybe is in your direct circle, whether that's a coworker or, again, a friend, or someone that you've been kind of talking to. There's a crush developing here. And you're getting, confirmations or synchronicities about this crush for some of you. Let's keep going. Anyone who needed that confirmation, there it is. Tell me more. The Hermit, yeah. There's that spiritual awakening. And like I said, I felt for some of my Cancers, even if it's your birthday season, it doesn't mean you're not celebrating it. But for some of you, it's like you are taking the time for self-care. You are taking the time for self-discovery. You are taking the time to kind of separate yourself to better understand where it is that you want to go or what your purpose is. And a lot of you, again, a lot of your purpose is surrounding spirituality, healing, and success in that too, Cancer. Know that it's not just going to be a small hobby here. You guys have the potential of making an impact, whether that is on your smaller community, your family, your friends, or even beyond that. You have that blueprint of what your life path is meant to be. And some of you are just discovering this, or are on the path of discovering this. And it may be a period of stillness for you in July. I don't know if you guys are subscribers, but your last reading in June, it was like, I felt this success and this victory, something happening big in June for you. That was an accomplishment. That was something to celebrate. and now is in that period of stillness. Maybe with whatever some of you may have accomplished last month, what are you going to do with it now? How is it going to expand you? I feel a lot of you are in the cocoon status right now of your life, of your spiritual transformation. And I think the cocoon is necessary for now. And maybe some people are kind of like, where did my Cancer go? Where is Cancer? What are they up to? But again, people do miss you. I want to let you know, but some of you just need to take your time now to prioritize yourself. And it's more about discovering who you are, what you want, what your next chapter is going to be, and how to get there. I feel a lot of you are starting to see that light, that understanding, but now what to do with it. I think some of you are in that planning state, how you can move forward with this. I need another card, Spirit, for my Cancers for July. Okay, and then we have Eight of Swords. And this is coming under the you are good enough Cancer. And this is confirmation for me that some of you really are holding yourselves back from achieving, from moving forward, from that chapter opening. And it's in the mental status. It's in the mental state that is holding you back. Virgo energy, Gemini energy for whoever wants to hear it. Bottom of the deck, the Ace of Swords. Air energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy coming through here. Very soon, Cancer, for the Ace of Swords to be at the bottom of the deck, very soon you are going to get an answer. You're going to get an epiphany. You're going to get that green light on how to move forward. But before that happens, with this combination here of the Eight of Swords, and you are good enough with the full moon of Virgo, there's a process of empowerment that you're going through, a process of loving yourself. And maybe, again, like for some of you, these memories of these experiences of what hurt you the most, what made you start to doubt yourself, those memories are holding you back. Those thoughts are holding you back. And with the Page of Cups and the crown chakra, Spirit is trying to help you. And even with Yamaya here, understand that it was all part of your journey, Cancer, because now you're such a kind person, an empathic person. Through those crueler experiences you may have gone through, they helped you know that you would never treat someone else that way because you know that pain and you would never want anyone to go through that pain. And that's why you're on this path of healing, Cancer. That's why, you're going through this transformation to become a healer, a light worker. But Cancer, I feel that the most important thing you need to know about at this time is that with any sort of triggers or any sort of memories or any sort of thoughts that are creeping up again, to not suppress it, because they will still be the thoughts and energies that are staying within you, that are binding you to think you're not good enough. But to, with the Page of Cups, open up to that energy, feel that energy, but heal that energy is the most important thing here. And I understand with the Hermit why you may want to do this, alone. And maybe it is best to do this alone and to not make other people, or not let other people, I should say, pull you out of the stage you're in right now. Because it's important for you to go through this so you can go to the other side with the full awakening, the full understanding, that idea of what you are meant to do with this now, the tool of the sword that you will be given by Spirit on how to use your thoughts, use your communication. Some of you may have the ability to write, to communicate in such strong, profound ways that it will move people. It will inspire people, your story. to share that story, to share your experience, to share your wisdom. It is so needed, Cancer, in the 3D world. And I think anything that is being sent to you as, an idea, take it seriously. I do feel it's being sent by the divine for you to progress on this journey, to move forward on your purpose. You're meant to be impactful. You're meant to inspire. You're meant to give hope, just as Yamaya does, Cancer. Wow. All right. So let's go ahead. And also, before I move on, Ace of Swords is a presence for a lot of readers of Archangel Michael. And maybe Archangel Michael was an energy you called through at the beginning of the reading, is an energy you've been working with, or an energy that wants to make its presence known now, so you could better get in touch with Archangel Michael, look up information about Archangel Michael, connect with Archangel Michael. But Archangel Michael is a very protective energy, Cancer. I have him here. Oh, maybe you guys can't see it, but right here, I have him on my altar to watch over me, to protect me, to guide me, and he wants to do the same for you, or it's confirmation he has been doing the same for you. So don't doubt the protection you have, Cancer. It is very strong at this time. So let's go ahead and get one more card for my Cancers. With this Angel's Whispers here, let's see if there's anything else your spirit guides, your angelic team around you wants you to know. Yes. Oh my goodness, beautiful. So it says, focus on your dreams. Allow the power of manifesting to start now. Yes. Cancer, again, you guys are in the germination mode, when the seeds are in the soil, starting to grow, starting to take root. You're in that cocoon status of, better understanding yourself, of your dreams, of your desires. And the healing's going down right now, the care for it, putting, the water on those seeds, making sure those seeds are in the right sunlight. That's happening now. But again, anything that you've been dreaming of, praying for, allow the power of the manifestation to come in for you, Cancer, to believe that you can have this, to believe that you can receive this, to believe it will be yours, and that you deserve all the good in life has to offer, and you can provide that good as well. You will be blessed, Cancer. You will be guided every step of the way. So focus on it, believe in it, because the start is now. The first chapter of this journey is beginning in July. And I think you're going to get the manifestation for some of you, again, Virgo season, but definitely by the end of 2022. This is going to come into full circle. What a beautiful reading, Cancer. Thank you so, so much for joining me here. I hope this message provides you with confirmation, clarity, insight, healing, and guidance. And if it has, please let me know. Drop a comment below, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. I love you, Cancer, very much. And I'll see you next time. Take care, Cancer.